What's going on, team, and welcome back to another video. So today's topic is going to be on candlesticks. I'm going to cover the 4 different characteristic types of a candlestick, as well as talk to you a little bit about Power 3. So this video is going to be mainly for beginners, but even experienced traders can learn a thing or two off of this. So let's break down the 4 characteristics of a candlestick. The 4 characteristics that you're going to see to every single candlestick out there are going to be the open, the high, the low, and the close of a candle. This is also known as the OHLC. So when looking at a green or a bullish candlestick, the open of the candle is always going to be the bottom of the rectangle that you see in the candle. The close of the candlestick is always going to be on top of the box that you see in the candlestick. And this is common sense because in order for a candle to be green in the market, the close of the candle must be higher than the open. Now let's have a look at the wick highs and the wick lows of a candlestick. This essentially represents the highest point that the candle has reached, and vice versa. This represents the lowest point that the candle has reached. So let's say that this specific candle opened at $100, it hit lows of $50, it also hit highs of $300, then it came back down and closed at $200. Now let's take a look at a bearish, or in other terms, a red candlestick. The only difference between these two candlesticks are the open and the close prices. As you can see, the open price of a red candlestick will always be the top of the box. The close of the candlestick will always be the bottom of the box. And the wick highs and the wick lows are the same thing as a green candlestick. Now that you know the 4 characteristics of a candlestick, I want to talk to you a little bit about Power 3. This is a very effective and important concept that every trader should understand about candlesticks. So let's say we are looking at the 1-day time frame. This means that every candle that you see on the chart represents 1 day's worth of trading. When looking at a green candlestick and understanding the 4 different characteristics, I will ask you this question here. If you were to know ahead of time that this specific candle was going to close green, when is the best possible time to take a position within this candle? Now, for some of you, that may be a very complex question and you don't know the answer to it right away, but let me simplify things for you. So again, let's say, for example, you knew that this candle was going to close green, meaning that the close is above the open price. The best times to actually take a position within this specific candle would be at the open or below the open. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me explain. If you see that this candle opened at $489 and you know that this candle should close green, you know that as long as you are buying at the open or below the open, you are getting the best available price for this specific candle. And again, it's just common sense. Because you know that the close is going to be well above the open, as long as you are getting at or near the open price, you know at least at some point in that day, you are going to be profitable. And vice versa, let's say you're looking at a red candlestick. You know that the open is at the top of the box and the close is the bottom of the box. So if you know ahead of time that this candle is going to close red, the best times for you to be entering a short position would again be at the open or above the open price, understanding that this candle should close or at least get below the open price. Now that I've explained the concept of Power 3, I'm just going to test your knowledge a little bit here. Let's take a look at this green candlestick. The first question is, are you going to be interested in going long or going short? If you need to pause the video, please do so, but answer the question honestly. You had your chance to pause the video, but the answer is we would go long. Now, the second question I have for you is, would you want to go long below the open price or above the open price? In this case scenario, we would want to go long below the open price. But with that being said, I do have 2 separate videos explaining these concepts on the YouTube page. So if you want to know more about it, feel free to watch those videos.